Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Young from MOF, Korea. Well, before I start, in session two, we do have a presentation on PPP program. Uh, One part of the presentation covers PPP, so you may look forward to it. And okay, let me begin by briefly explaining the economic situation Korea faced at the start of this year and why fiscal action became unavoidable. This background is very important because it sets the stage for the policy choices that I will discuss in session two. At the beginning of the year, the Korean economy was at a critical crossroads with weakening growth, declining confidence, and tightening fiscal conditions. By early 2025, Korea's economic momentum had slowed sharply. Industrial production contracted, exports weakened, and private consumption nearly stalled. Our potential growth, as you can see, once above 3%, has fallen below 2%, and it's also expected to reach like 0.1% in 2040 with this trend going on. These developments show that Korea was facing both cyclical weakness and structural headwinds. See on the right, real growth rate, recorded 0 point something percent for consecutive quarter. So this is very serious. The economic slowdown quickly spilled over into government finances. On the left side, you can see that Korea's tax burden ratio, the line graph, declined from 22.1% in 2022 to 17.6% in 2024, a sharp contraction in just 2 years. This meant that the government's revenue base shrank precisely when the spending needs were rising. On the right side, our fiscal balance also deteriorated markedly as falling revenues combined with automatic increases in social spending. In short, Korea was experiencing shrinking fiscal resources and expanding fiscal pressures at the same time, a very challenging combination. Demographic trends are another source of pressure. Korea is aging faster than any other OECD countries. By 2040, our elderly population will nearly double, and social spending will increase significantly, particularly in pension, healthcare, and long-term care. Meanwhile, the working age population continues to shrink, reducing growth potential and narrowing the tax base. This demographic squeeze will shape Korea's fiscal landscape for decades. Given these developments, the government faced a real fiscal dilemma. Should we tighten spending to preserve fiscal soundness, or should we act decisively, aggressively to support households and stabilize the economy? Both arguments had merit, but doing nothing was not an option. Because the economy was weakening, confidence was falling, and fiscal space was eroding. Korea needed to make a strategic choice. So ultimately, the government chose to take swift and timely fiscal action. We implemented a three-part response that I will explain in more detail in session two. Number one, a supplementary budget in 2025 to provide immediate stabilization. And second, a 2026 budget proposal to shift spending toward future growth areas. And number 3, a comprehensive fiscal structure reform to strengthen long-term sustainability. This combination, relief, investment, and reform, reflects Korea's commitment to supporting the economy while maintaining fiscal responsibility. Since then, within less than a year, we have started to see encouraging signs of stabilization. Household consumption has improved, business and consumer sentiment have recovered. Korea achieved 1.2% GDP growth in third quarter 2025, the fastest in more than a year. And also the KOSPI, the stock market index, surpassed 4,000 points. This is for the first time ever in Korea's history. While challenges remain, these developments indicate that timely fiscal measures played an important stabilizing role. Okay, to summarize, Korea entered 2025 facing weak growth, declining revenues, rising spending pressures, and demographic challenges. But rather than remain passive, the government chose decisive fiscal action. In session 2, I will explain how this decision translated into emergency relief through the supplementary budget, growth-oriented investment in 2026 budget proposal, and long-term structural reform through the Fiscal Structure Innovation Task Force. Thank you very much for your attention.